September 1857. A quiet mountain valley in southern Utah becomes the scene of the deadliest attack on an immigrant wagon train in American history. More than 100 men, women, and children from Arkansas, the Baker-Fancher party, lie camped in a green oasis called Mountain Meadows, 300 miles south of Salt Lake City. The Utah War has the territory on edge. Rumors fly. These immigrants poisoned wells, bragged about killing Joseph Smith, are scouts for the coming army. In Salt Lake, Brigham Young is about to declare martial law and forbids any aid to Gentile travelers. On the morning of September 7th, gunfire shatters the silence. By sunset on September 11th, the meadow runs red. One day later, September 12th, Hannah, Elizabeth, and now 14-year-old Emma Bocock roll down Immigration Canyon into Salt Lake City, still believing they have reached the city of God. They have no idea that far to the south, Zion's soil has just drunk the blood of innocents. Welcome back to Zion's Fire, an American saga of pioneer hopes, polygamous knots, theocracy, resistance, and a frontier gone mad. Join me, Debbie Pedersen, as we follow the Bocock sisters. This is episode 4, Meadows' Blood. The buildup. Denied supplies in Salt Lake City, the Baker-Fancher party packs up and heads south on the old Spanish Trail. Their wagons creak through Provo, Nephi, Fillmore, and Cedar City. Southern voices, fine teams, and a big herd of cattle kicking up dust. $15,000 in goods and cash, all bound for California. To the immigrants, Mountain Meadows is just a green oasis, a place to rest, graze their cattle before their long-last brutal push across the desert. But every mile they travel, whispers travel faster. In Cedar City, the rumors arrived first. These Arkansans bragged about killing Joseph Smith. They poisoned a spring. Paiute cattle are dying. They laughed at the saints, cursed Brigham Young, threatened to bring the U.S. Army down on Zion. None of it proven, all of it believed. The territory is a tinderbox. Martial law has been declared. An army is coming. Everyone knows it. Stake President Isaac Haight and John D. Lee listen night after night to the inflammatory stories. They fear that if any immigrant reaches California alive, word of Mormon militancy in the South will bring the full wrath of the United States down on Zion. But in the white-hot climate of the Mormon Reformation, an even greater fear gnaws at them, that the Lord Himself will hold them personally accountable if they let enemies of the kingdom pass unharmed in this final hour before the second coming. Inaction, they believe, is not just temporal defeat. It is eternal damnation. 30 miles north, in Parowan, Colonel William Dame receives urgent express riders from Isaac Haight. The messages are frantic. The Arkansans are a threat. Something must be done. No clear order has come from Brigham. None ever will. In the first week of September 1857, fear, rumor, and old grudges tighten like a noose around a quiet mountain valley, and the Baker-Fancher wagons roll straight into it. The siege. Camped in Mountain Meadows, the wagon train wakes to gunfire on Monday, September 7th. Attackers, some in war paint, some in militia jackets, pour down rifle fire from the sagebrush and ravines. The immigrants quickly circle the wagons, dig rifle pits, and fight back. 7 men fall, dead in the first minutes. Several more are wounded. Women and children huddle beneath wagon beds while the men fight for their lives. By nightfall, the shooting stops. The immigrants have beaten off the assault, but their water barrels are riddled with bullet holes and half the cattle are gone. They dig trenches. Slaughtered oxen are used as breastworks. They wait in the dark. Women nurse the wounded and calm the sobbing children. The next 4 days becomes a slow, suffocating siege. Snipers hidden in brush pick off anyone who shows himself. William Aden tries to slip out for help. He is shot dead and left in the sage. Paiute warriors, promised cattle and plunder, grow restless at their own losses. Inside the circled wagons, water runs out. Wounds fester in the heat under tattered canvas, and children cry for something to drink. In Cedar City, Isaac Haight, John D. Lee, and Major John Higbee meet night after night. Letters race north to Parowan and south to the Meadows. No clear order comes from Brigham, only the standing instruction that the kingdom must be protected at all costs. By the evening of September 10th, the immigrants are desperate. They have repelled every attack. They cannot hold out much longer. Haight's final express to the Meadows carries one chilling line: no one left to tell the tale. As dawn breaks on Friday, September 11th, a white flag appears above the Mormon lines. The trap is about to close. The massacre. 5 days of siege have broken the Baker-Fancher train. Water is gone. Ammunition almost spent. The wounded are dying in the heat, and the dead lie unburied. John D. Lee rides forward under the flag of truce. He tells the immigrants the Indians have agreed to let them go if they surrender their weapons and accept a Mormon escort to Cedar City. After anguished debate, the immigrants accept. Lee gives precise instructions. Stack the rifles in a wagon. Wounded and small children ride in the wagons. Able-bodied men and older boys walk ahead in single file. Women and younger children follow behind. At 2 o'clock, the column starts out. Men first, then wagons, then women and children trailing half a mile back. Half a mile from the wagon circle, Major John Higbee gives the signal. Do your duty. Rifles crack at point-blank range. Every man and older boy collapses, shot in the head or chest by the militiaman walking beside him. At the same moment, Paiute warriors and waiting militiamen rush the wagons and the women's column. Knives, clubs, and guns do the rest. In minutes, it's over. Approximately 120 lie dead across the meadows. 17 children, all judged too young to talk, are spared. 3 adult men somehow break away and run. They will be hunted down and killed in the coming days. The meadow is silent again, except for the crying of small children and the lowing of scattered cattle. Meanwhile, in Salt Lake City, the very next day, Hannah, Elizabeth, and Emma roll down Immigration Canyon into a city that has just begun hiding its women and children. No brass bands, no feasts, only closed doors, loaded rifles, and bishops asking new arrivals the same question: are you willing to obey counsel in all things? Charles Law arrives the next day, alone, widowed in all but name, carrying the same hopes he had in Sheffield. Zion is not the paradise they crossed an ocean to find. It is a fortress under siege, and the price of belonging has just gone up. Conclusion: 120 souls lie dead in a Mountain Meadows 300 miles south. In Salt Lake City, 3 exhausted English sisters and the man who brought them here have just stepped into a city that will demand everything they have left. The blood in the South is still warm. The Reformation fire in the North is burning hotter than ever. The entry to Zion's price has been paid, but the bill is only beginning. This is Zion's Fire, Episode 4, Meadows' Blood. Elizabeth Bocock is my husband's great-great-grandmother. Post-show notes and a look at Episode 5 are coming right up. Don't move. Post-show notes. Widowed in all but name. One line from this episode may keep echoing in your head. Charles Law arrived in Salt Lake alone, widowed in all but name. What exactly did that mean? Maria is still alive in England, and she has their 2 little girls. But in the eyes of 1857 Utah, a man who left his family to gather to Zion wasn't an abandoner. He was a hero. The Reformation had turned sacrifice into a badge of honor. That's the price the Reformation exacted from ordinary people. Not just blood in the South, but broken families, teenage brides, and promises that changed the moment the wagon wheels stopped. What was this deeper religious dimension that played into Isaac Haight and John D. Lee's decision to order the massacre? Okay, wartime fear and the rumors that were swirling around is usually the dominant narrative about the massacre, which is all true. But skipping over or missing the profound religious dimension without understanding that, you can't understand how this massacre took place, and won't understand that without the religious dimension, you probably don't even have a massacre happen. But why did they genuinely believe they had a divine obligation to act against these perceived enemies, the wagon train of people, enemies of the church, enemies of Zion? And the line from the episode was, "The Lord himself will hold them personally accountable if they let enemies of the kingdom pass unharmed." Okay, the answer rests in key elements of 1850s Mormon teachings and practices. First of all, there's the oath of vengeance. In the temple endowment ceremony from 1846 until it was removed in the early 20th century, participants covenanted to pray unceasingly to Almighty God to avenge the blood of Joseph and Hiram Smith upon this nation. Some extended this to personal duty against anyone seen as continuing that persecution. Okay, also, there was avenging the prophet's blood, sermons, and patriarchal blessings. For example, one given to the militia commander William H. Dame spoke of avenging past murders of Mormon leaders. Rumors linked the Baker-Fancher party to Missouri and Arkansas mobs, responsible for earlier Mormon killings, making them, in the eyes of some, deserving of this judgment. And if you miss that, you cannot figure out how this massacre happened. And when it's in your patriarchal blessing, that is a personal blessing to you about your life. And you don't forget that. And there's also blood atonement. So during the Reformation, which is 1856 through 1857, Brigham Young and other leaders preached that certain sins could not be atoned for unless shedding the sinner's blood. Okay? This was primarily aimed at apostates, but this is intense language, and it blurred lines in a time of crisis. And it's actually requiring the blood of people who committed certain sins. Many of the saints saw the Utah War as the beginning of the end times. They were living in this apocalyptic fervor because they think that they are there, literally setting up Zion to usher in the second coming of Christ. And the saints felt obligated to defend Zion and execute divine judgment. So historians, including the church-sponsored Massacre at Mountain Meadows by Walker, Turley, and Leonard, they emphasize that these beliefs helped rationalize the unthinkable to otherwise decent men. Okay, so John D. Lee later said it was this obedience to this divine authority through the leaders that trumped everything. What's next in episode 5? The sisters face a Zion far from their dreams. The desert's ablaze. Stay with me as faith fights to stand. See you on the trail.